Mindanao Daily. Mindanao Daily. Mindanao Daily.
Watch us anytime, anywhere. Pwede nimo makita sa digital o papel. Mga balita na masaligan para sa katawan. Serbisyo publiko, aksyon, edukasyon sa tanan.
Sita na mo bay, diri sa mong syudad. Makasin natin ang inamigong may paglugad. Taag Divisoria, uban ng higala. Ay nakatingala, tsada ni diri.
Mindanao Daily. Mindanao Daily. Mindanao Daily. Mindanao Daily. Mindanao Daily. Mindanao Daily.
Maayong buntag, Cagayan de Oro.
Good morning, Real Estate!
I'm your host, Alex Zeta.
And I am James Haliasgo. And welcome to the Homeshow Unlimited!
Hello everyone! Welcome back to another episode of the Homeshow Unlimited. So for today, we have a very special guest. They are a huge developer here in the Philippines and they're actually launching a new subdivision here in Cagayan de Oro. So our guest for today is none other than Alveo, to be represented by their Brokers Network Manager, Miss Alvea Sicat. Hello!
Thank you so much, Miss Alex, for having Alveo with you in this program. We're very, very honored to be your guest for this episode.
Thank you so much for being my guest, especially since I know you're so busy with all the preparation for the launching, because you will be launching na this week, right?
Yes, we're launching actually Wednesday and Thursday. It will be a two-day event.
Okay, so that's very exciting. So we'll talk about that in a bit later. So to start, let me introduce the project to our viewers, because there may be some who are not familiar with the project of Alveo here in Cagayan de Oro. So why don't you tell us a bit about the project? Where is it located? What units are available? What the computation scheme is, so that if we have viewers na interested in investing in this project, then they already have the information that they need to make a decision.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Alex, for the introduction. That's right. We are actually launching our CDO project, Bayview Heights, this coming May 19 and 20. And just to give you a brief background, as mentioned by Miss Alex, this is actually the very first foray of Alveo land in Cagayan de Oro. It's an entirely new territory for us. And luckily for our company, we were able to get a good location in Barangay Tablon. What's really nice about the project is, in terms of location, it's directly accessible via the highway. Plus, in the future, there's also going to be an access from the JR Borja proposed extension. So one thing that's nice about it is if we're looking for a development that has a view of the bay, of the mountains, you don't really have to go too far since the Barangay Tablon location of our project is only about 20 minutes away from the city center, about 15 minutes from downtown, and about 24 minutes from uptown. And here we will be offering premium lots as well as investment value lots. So there's a lot of options available here. Our lot sizes range from 317 square meters all the way to 600 for our first offering. But in the future, we are going to have sizes as big as 1,000 square meters. So for those clients who really want that premium exclusive feel, that's what we will have with Bayview Heights. And just to add for our intro, it will have its own commercial area, and that's really what makes it different from the other developments or the other exclusive subdivisions in Cagayan de Oro.
So it's really gonna be a premium
Yes,
development
it's really
because
a
of the
premium
huge,
development.
the huge lot cuts, because it starts at 350 square meters tapos pataas na.
Yes, yes.
And
Although,
what I
yes, go ahead, go
ah,
ahead.
sige, ikaw una.
Actually, although it's technically a luxury development, we are not just catering to very expensive cuts or payment terms because we have what I mentioned as investment value lots. So these investment value lots, their monthly amortization is actually starts at around 43,000 per month. And if we have clients who are quite apprehensive regarding the 10% spot DP, we can actually try to request to spread that. So instead of spot 10%, we can spread it into, let's say, 6 months, and that amounts to around 120,000 per month for 6 months. So they don't really need like 1,000,000 or 800,000 upfront. They can spread it over a period of 6 months.
Yes, and also what I noticed sa description of the project is you are allocating 54% to open space.
Yes, that's correct, Miss Alex.
So it's about 100 plus hectares, right? The whole development.
Yes, the entire development is 113 hectares, and yes, a majority of it will be open spaces because if you want to visit the site, we can actually have you visit it with your clients if you have interested clients who would like to see it for themselves. The terrain of the area, it's actually going up. So it's not just flat. The lower portion of it from the entrance will be the commercial area, and then going up, you will be accessing the exclusive subdivision. So that's what's really nice. It's really a different terrain from the existing na malapit sa city center that we have right now.
Kasi some of the questions that my clients ask me, like sa mga clients that inquired sa project na to, is the dust and the noise pollution from the highway, because diba yun naman yung isang if the project is along the highway, it's okay because it's accessible. Pero yung one drawback, if you're too near to the highway, is it's gonna be really dusty and it's gonna be noisy because a lot of big trucks are passing by that highway.
Yes, that's actually a really good question, Miss Alex, and that's one of the most common that we also encounter. What's nice about Bayview Heights is although it's accessible, we don't compromise that comfort for the investors or the future residents, because if we take a look at the map of Bayview Heights, what is immediately accessible from the highway is the commercial development, and then from there, they're all going to be private roads leading to the subdivision, and the actual subdivision gate is about more or less 2 kilometers away from the highway. And even though it's about 2 kilometers, it's not really going to be like really short, really narrow roads and all. It's all privately owned and constructed by Ayala Land. So we'll make sure that the access going to the actual subdivision will be pleasant, and we will have spacious roads that are quite far from the industrial lots or industrial developments along the highway. And as mentioned, this is also elevated. The elevation of the subdivision ranges from about 100 to 200 meters above sea level. So we're not on the same level, or we're not on the same elevation as the industrial development. Apart from being, of course, 2 kilometers away pa yung pinaka-access.
Okay. So even if it's along the highway, it's not really the commercial area is the one that's along the highway. But yung residential is you really need to go inside pa 2 kilometers to reach the residential area.
A sense of more privacy or exclusivity to the residential portion of the development.
And also the terrain is quite elevated. You mentioned it's 100 to 200. It's similar to the terrain of Uptown Cagayan de Oro, because the terrain of Uptown area is about 130 to parang range din siya, parang 130 to 200 square meters then above sea level depending on where you're at. So yan kasi yung isa sa tinitingnan talaga ng mga taga Cagayan, because here in Cagayan de Oro there are some areas that are prone to parang flood. So at least if you invest in a location that's already very elevated, you can avoid this problem.
Yes, that's actually correct. Also, just to quickly mention some of the things that I noticed when I went to Cagayan de Oro, because I visited some of the most popular exclusive residential subdivisions, and CDO doesn't have a shortage naman when it comes to really nice subdivisions. And something that all of them have in common really is that they have wide, spacious roads, they have all these big trees, greeneries, and all of that, which is very, very nice. But if you take a look at the current offerings in terms of subdivisions, you actually have a choice of either being near the city center, like we have with the Xavier and Pueblo. These are very, very nice, and they're one of the most popular, most prime exclusive subdivisions in CDO. So if we look at those developments, they're very near the city center, they're near everywhere. But in terms of terrain, they're mostly flat. There are few lots that have a view of the mountains, but mostly in terms of terrain, mas flat sila compared to, let's say, if you move a little bit farther to the east, we have Teakwood. We also have Alegria, and these are the two developments I noticed na talagang may view, no?
Yeah, that's right. Parang may view most of the lots have a view, like especially sa Teakwood and also sa Alegria din. Like although may mga inner lots na wala masyadong view, but most of the lots, because of the terrain na medyo kind of a bit sloping, elevated and a bit sloping, so it really gives the property owner a great view of Cagayan de Oro. You can see the mountains in front of it. You can see Makahalar Bay.
Yes, very beautiful actually. If you're Metro Manila, it's impossible to get that view in just 30 minutes. Kasi diba, from the city center, it only takes about maybe 20-30 just to get to Alegria and Teakwood. From CDO perspective, that's actually quite far na, no? But in Metro Manila, that's very, very near. You're lucky to have that kind of choice pa. And although going back to from a CDO perspective, it's kind of a compromise, because if you want that kind of view, you have to travel a little bit farther, and that's your choice. If you want views, you travel a little bit farther, or if you want to be near the city center, you won't really have that much of rolling terrain or elevated views. And with Bayview Heights, that's what we're offering. We're bringing together the best of both worlds, because we are offering the same kind of similar elevated and rolling terrain that Alegria and Teakwood have, while at the same time remaining still immediately accessible via the highway. So you don't really have to compromise anymore between choosing the view but going a little bit farther, or choosing something nearer but not really that kind of breathtaking view like Alegria and Teakwood. In terms of terrain though, I noticed that we are actually more similar to Teakwood when I went there. Kasi Teakwood has their clubhouse directly facing the bay. So the clubhouse is at the edge of the bay, and it's facing at the edge of the development, and it's facing the bay, and that's very similar to Bayview kasi our clubhouse is also at the edge of the development facing the bay. And then they also have what we call ridge lots, which is along the sloping part of the terrain na walang obstructions in front, where you get to see Makahalar Bay, or you get to see our eco reserve. So in terms of terrain, we're more relatable to Teakwood, but in terms of accessibility, we're definitely, I think, more accessible compared to other developments that have
So
the same.
but your description na sa subdivision, I mean the project is opposite siya sa Teakwood in the sense na sa Teakwood that the highest point is at the entrance, at the gate, and then you kind of go downward. Or not really the highest, you can go higher din. There are also higher points than the guardhouse, pero yung guardhouse is parang mid na siya, na mid height sa view. Pero sa Bayview is the entrance is that's the lowest. Parang that's the lowest point, and then the terrain just goes higher and higher from there.
Yes, in terms of the accessibility, dun lang yung magkaiba. Kasi Teakwood, yung medyo parang sa likod yung access mo dun na sa medyo mataas, like you mentioned. For Bayview kasi, coming from the front siya na highway and then paakyat. So that's the difference lang. But in terms of the lot offerings, na meron silang ridge view, then they also have some of the middle lots, ganyan. That's where we're similar.
Okay. So, what about another objection that clients usually ask us is the traffic. Kasi sa daan na yan, kasi highway siya, it's really heavy talaga yung traffic, especially during rush hour. So, how can this be addressed? Or how can this be avoided?
Actually, the highway nga has a lot of trucks kasi, it's accessible, but at the same time, kasabay mo yung mga traffic, which is the trucks naman. That's why it's also advantageous that we will be having that proposed JR Borja access, because if we look at the map again of Bayview Heights, the JR Borja access will be a better access going to Bayview coming from the city compared to the highway in the future. Kasi along JR Borja, wala namang trucks doon, while at the same time,
walang trucks, tapos walang masyadong public utility vehicles that pass by the JR Borja Road. Usually, mga private cars ang dumadaan dyan.
Yes, that's actually the advantage of having that secondary access. And at the same time also, if you're looking to enter the subdivision itself, it's nearer the village gate compared to the highway access. So it's like more of, if you're going to go to Bayview for the commercial, let's say you want to eat there, or when we have the destination retail and the community retail in the future, you can pass by the highway because that's the easier access. But if you're going to visit, let's say, a friend, you're going home from your work in the city, you pass by the JR Borja. So there are options for those who will be visiting and locating in Bayview Heights in the future.
When is the timeline for the JR Borja Road to be finished?
Actually, that one we can't really commit because it's more of a government initiative. But we're really hoping that since Bayview Heights has about a 5-year timeline, hopefully by then it's completed, because 5 years, that's a lot of time already, and we're hoping that by 5 years we will have some of the commercial developments, and of course the phase 1 of Bayview Heights will be completed, so some of the investors can start building their houses overlooking the Makahalar Bay and all of that, and sana nandun na siya by that time para very timely with our development.
Okay. So you mentioned last time na there's 54% allocated to open space. So what can we expect to be put sa open spaces?
For the open spaces, it's actually a mix of something that we can utilize in terms of for the residents' use and something that preserves the natural aspect of the development. Because for that open space, we will have, of course, our clubhouse with an infinity pool facing the Makahalar Bay, and a lot of jogging tracks, a lot of pathways and parks that can be visited, especially during this time that we need fresh air, open spaces. We will also have a basketball court, a kids play area. So it's a mix of that. And then in terms of the preserving the natural aspect of the development, we have what is called an eco reserve. So the eco reserve, that's the sloping area in Bayview Heights where we will remain, we will leave it as is. So we will not touch it. We will not build on it. It's really just this nice view of greenery, trees, the semi-forests of the development. And some of our special lots will have a view of that. So that's directly in front of their houses with nothing in front. Yun lang talaga siya. And another thing that's like that is what we call the Crestwood Park. So the Crestwood Park naman, if the eco reserve is sloping, the Crestwood Park is kind of elevated. So it's like a small hill that will also have some special lots surrounding it. That's also where we will have the 1,000 square meter lot. So I think the Crestwood Park will be known in the future as one of the exclusive portions of the development kasi it's only block 26. No other houses will have will be labeled as premium park lots except for block 26 because they surround the Crestwood Park. So those are the premium areas of Bayview Heights.
Okay, so what about the available lots? Like usually Alvey or Ayala in general, whenever they develop a subdivision, they have like specific names for the types of lots that are available. So what are the available lots that the buyers can choose from?
We mainly have three types of lots because we're only launching 99 lots this coming Wednesday and Thursday. For those three lots, they're called Luxury Ridge lots. Those are the ones that are directly facing the bay, yung talagang walang obstruction in front of them, as well as the ones facing the eco reserve. So those are the Luxury Ridge lots. And then next we have the Premium Park lots, the one that's located in Block 26, which is surrounding the Crestwood Park. And then lastly, but definitely not the least, this one is what we usually offer because of the value for money. These are what we call the investment value lots. And these investment value lots, they're the ones ranging from 317. Some of them are actually big lots then at 500 square meters. But the difference is they're in a more accessible portion of the development. And even the investment value lots, they have different kinds. So we have investment value lots for those clients who want a little bit of privacy. So those lots are located near the ridge lots. And if you'd imagine being located right next to a ridge lot, kasi the ridge lot, the monthly amortization from that is about 140,000 to 200,000 per month. Whereas this investment value lot, mga 50,000, 47,000. So it's like if you buy an investment value lot, you're paying 50,000 while your neighbor, which is just right across your house, is paying 200,000. So those are the more exclusive investment value lots. And then we also have investment value lots at the center of the development. And this one is for those who want easy access to the clubhouse, easy access to the road leading to the gate, and also to the Crestwood Park, to the basketball court. So they're more central, but at the same time, since they're central, that's where the cars go. So if you want exclusivity, you go for the block 7, 8, 9, and 10 investment value lots. But if you want accessibility, we go for the block 32 lots. And it's just right next to the premium park lots. So even our investment value lots, they're just located near our luxury lots.
Okay. So one of the things that lot buyers here at Cagayan de Oro really loves is the view. So that's why ridge lots are really priced at a premium. Even in the uptown area, ridge lots there go between 20 to 25,000 per square. So what about the other lots that are not, you mentioned you have three, right? They're the investment value and the premium luxury lot. So do all the lots have a view, or like only the ridge lots have a view?
Not all of the lots technically have a view, and we won't really know for sure until the development is there. And it will really depend on, let's say, whether your neighbor builds a 2-story house or a 3-story house. But there are some lots that have an advantage over the rest. Like, for example, with our investment value lot in Block 32, there are about 3 houses facing the eco reserve, which is also facing the bay, that despite being investment lots, they have no obstructions in front, which means that they have a chance of still having that view of the Makahalar Bay, even though they're not ridge lots. So some of the lots are better than others. It really depends on the client's preference, their budget, but we have offerings for different budgets. That's what's nice about Bayview Heights.
Okay. So what about the pricing? What's the price per square meter for these lots?
The average price is about 28,000 to 33,000, but that's the average. We do have lots that are about 26,000. There are also some that are higher than 32,000. But what we made possible is to really offer payment terms. So we stretched it to 5 years. That despite this, I understand it's really above average in terms of the CDO market, but we know that we're going to justify this once we start developing the area, because we're really going to make sure that it's going to be one of a kind. It's the only subdivision that will have a commercial area, this accessibility with that view for the ridge lots, for the premium park lots, and some investment value lots. So that 28,000 to 33,000, it will not be the same, let's say, 5 years from now. And also, one of the things that we're very much used to with Alveo is whenever we launch a project, people always say that we're too expensive, that nobody's going to buy it, it's not going to be a success. But what I love about the company is every time we have that kind of opposition, or every time that we have that kind of objection, we're able to prove time and time again that we really can justify and that we really can make it their money's worth. And, you know, when it comes to any kind of investment naman, but even with stocks, it's not how much you buy it, but how much you get out of it. That's always the value of your investment and the growth of it, and not the start or not the initial price. Because what will matter is the price at the end. So hopefully some of our clients or interested buyers are still able to consider Bayview Heights. And if in any case they want a special term, Alveo is willing to take a look at their request, and maybe we can make some adjustments or some approvals, especially if these clients are really intent on purchasing a property in Bayview Heights.
Talking about the appreciation of Alveo's projects, because this is the first in Cagayan, so let's talk about in other cities here in the Philippines. So what is the average appreciation of the lots in Alveo, like for example upon launching? So also upon launching, that's usually what happens. Like usually Alveo prices it a little bit above market value. That it's the same way that they're doing now, because actually I think 4 or 5 years ago, when Alveo had a brokers meeting, they initially priced the lots. They had an indicative pricing for the lots at 15,000 per square. It was still above market value at the time, since at the time the lots here were at 7,000 to 8,000 per square. Now the lots in Cagayan de Oro are between 15 to 20 per square. So now Alveo is pricing it still above the current market value. So is that really something that Alveo does with its projects?
I think in general, the real estate market really does, over the course of years, it really does increase. But in terms of being specifically Alveo, we do put our developments at a premium compared to the average. And if we look at the history of Alveo Land, we've launched several subdivision projects, especially here in National Capital Region. We have in Luzon, especially, we have this one in Cavite. It's called Vermosa. We also have in Pampanga. It's called the Greenways or Alviera. But what I would really like compare to Bayview Heights is Evo City. It's a residential development. It's actually a mixed-use development then that we launched in Kawit, Cavite. And if you're from Metro Manila, at the time that we launched Evo City, Kawit Cavite doesn't sound as premium, or it's not really a place you would consider investing in. And especially when we announced that we were launching it at 30,000 to 40,000 per square meter, that was 4 years ago, I think, or 4 years ago, I think, for Evo City. Everyone said the same thing, that it was
It was so expensive.
yeah, kasi at that time, you can still buy lots in Kawit Cavite near Evo City for 12,000. Can you imagine, Alveo, what
12,000. So parang yun yung going rate there, like between 12 to 15.
Yes, that was, you can buy lots still at that price in Kawit Cavite at that time. And everyone was saying talaga that no one's gonna buy, but surprisingly, this project, Evo City, became the very first Alveo development that sold out on day one. And
Really?
with that
How
price,
big was the project? Like
How many
the project
units?
is about
How many lots?
200 hectares. So it's twice the size of Bayview
okay.
Heights. But what really made it different is, if you look at the area, it was same. It's not like, for example, with Barangay Tablon, it's mostly industrial. This is going to be the first development in that area. And the same way Evo City was to that area, na talagang siya yung mixed use, that may commercial, may residential subdivision. And also, Evo City, I think, has a lot of plans, a lot of aspects to it that will be developed by Ayala Land. So that's what made it different, even though there are developments nearby na 12,000 lang. Mostly yun na yun, diba? When you buy from an area na residential lang, the prices are, siguro tataas pa din siya since it's real estate. But if you compare that to a development na not just residential, but there will be a lot more support functions to it, there's a lot more chances of having it appreciate in value compared to the other developments. And I think Bayview really has that same kind of story. And I'm not saying that in terms of pricing it will be the same as Evo, kasi Evo now is 60,000, if you would believe it. 60,000 per square meter from our initial 30,000.
So how many years ago did you launch Evo?
4 years ago.
4?
Imagine, it doubled in 4 years.
Okay. So you launched it at 30, although there were some lots at 40, and now the going rate is at 60.
It's at 60 now. And what Evo did is to unlock the land values. Of course, if Ayala's there, nobody's going to sell at a lower price. And at the same time, once we launch Bayview Heights, I doubt that the other people would be willing to sell their developments there at a lower cost, like a much lower cost than they are now, than the market value now. Kasi for some reason, that's what we like to call the Ayala effect. When people find out that Ayala is going to develop in an area, the land values actually increase because they know how Ayala develops. So something that's really nice about the company in terms of investment.
Okay. Wow, that's amazing. 60,000, like double your money in 4 years.
Yeah, we're not saying that Bayview will be the same. Of course, we can't really guarantee anything, but in terms of history, we have a pretty good track record of value appreciation for our developments.
Okay. How about New Valley? Because before, this project was compared to New Valley as well.
New Valley, it increased at about 20% from the initial launch price, from what I remember. Those are the more recent ones, though. I haven't gotten the prices of like the really old development since I started with Alveo around 2015. So yung mga Mondia, those are the subdivisions na naabutan ko na.
Okay, so the reason why Alveo is really priced at a premium is because the company is really confident in being able to turn over a great project to the buyers and being able to turn over a project that will already have been appreciated in value by the time na mata-turn over na siya.
Yes, yes.
How about the commercial areas? Is it gonna be for sale or are you just gonna have it rented out?
The commercial area, there are some portions, if we look at the map that we have for Bayview Heights, just a small portion is highlighted as commercial development. So that's where we have the confirmed destination retail, community retail, essential services. But there are some areas around it that we don't know yet for sure. Even though we're from Ayala, we don't really know everything that the company plans. So there might be plans for those that don't quote me on this because I don't really know yet. We'll know once they officially cascade it to us. But we're hoping that there might be some more commercial developments in the future, apart from the phase 2 and 3 of Bayview Heights that hopefully also gets launched within the next 5 years.
Okay, so we don't know yet whether it's gonna be for sale or just for rent. Okay, but usually with other Ayala developments, other Alveo developments, do they sell their commercial units or it depends on the project?
Yes, that depends on the project, but Evo City also has commercial lots for sale. And New Valley also, we also sold some commercial lots, even with our hillside development in Laguna. So there's a chance, but we're not 100% sure. But we're hoping, of course, that's going to be good for our investors, good for the development, if ever we're also going to be selling some commercial lots in Bayview Heights.
Okay. So let's talk about the payment scheme. So what are the payment schemes available to interested buyers?
The payment terms depend really on the lot sizes or the lot type. So of course, for the more premium ones like the luxury ridge lots, the premium park lots, the payment term is the default promo term is 10% spot down payment. 60% over 5 years, and then you have a lump sum of 30%. So that one you can loan the bank or you can pay upfront. But for the investment value lot, we do have a promo term that's 10% spot DP and then 30% over 5 years. This is the term where we have 43,000 per month, 47,000 per month. And with, as mentioned, the spot 10%, we can try. It's just not guaranteed because only some select lots will be approved for it. Instead of spot 10%, we can try requesting to have it split over 6 months so that it won't be as heavy or as it won't eat up as much liquidity or equity for your client.
Yeah, so basically it's 30% plus 10%, so the loanable amount will then be 60%.
Yes.
And then turnover is 5 years.
5 years, 2026.
So what about for the buyers or the viewers who are already interested, they want to reserve? So what is the reservation process?
The deadline actually for the letter of intent is today. So if they're able to still submit by around 3 or 5 p.m., we can try at, I think, maximum at 5. We can try to have them for day 1 of priority selling. Otherwise, if they don't have a confirmed or an official queuing number through the LOI, what we can do is to have them registered as walk-ins. And that's what we have the day 2 of our priority selling for. This is for clients who have not submitted any letter of intent or any checks at all, but would like to see what we have, would like to go to the would like to go to the event either online. This is mainly an online event, but we do have a venue at the Seda Centrio Hotel for clients who want a private meeting area. So we actually reserved a small meeting area there. That's by schedule. If clients want to meet with brokers or with us to discuss the project, for day 2. But if they're going via Zoom, it's very easy. We'll just give them the link. They can just walk in via the Zoom link. And then if they decide that they want to continue or they want to purchase a lot, they can do so by swiping their credit card on site or online. We can do the reservation online. Basically, they can actually just attend our event and see for themselves. They don't need to commit anything until they finally tell us that they want this lot. This is the promo term. This is the payment term that I want, and these are my requirements. So that's the only time we will consider that they're committed, and that's the only time that we will either deposit their reservation fee or swipe their credit card. So very easy, just go to our event and see what we have in store for you.
So this event is on Thursday because on Wednesday it's for those who are able to submit LOIs.
Yes, but as early as now, they can register as walk-ins because there's also queuing for walk-ins. The earlier they tell us that they want to visit the event, the earlier their number will be as walk-ins.
So how will the process be with regards to being able to choose a lot? Like, is it according to the priority number in the letter of intent? Like, if you were able to submit like earlier, then you can also be one of the first to choose a location?
Yes, that's correct, Miss Alex. We give priority to those who have submitted their complete letters of intent and physical checks to Alveo. We will give them their queuing number by tomorrow. And then for day 1, they have an allocated time slot. So for example, your time is 1 o'clock to 1:15 p.m. You just enter the Zoom link at that time. And then you have 15 minutes to choose your lot and then decide on the payment term. Usually when a client attends naman, meron na silang lots in mind. So may selections na sila na available. And then they pin or virtual pin their choice during that event. And then that goes for the other remaining queue number. So naka-number siya depending on how early you submitted your LOI. And then if you don't have a queue naman or an LOI, day 2, it's the same process pa din. The earlier you register, the earlier you will have your time slot and select during that day.
So you will really be flying in, like a team will be flying in to assist the buyers for the launching.
Yes, actually, I'm flying there tomorrow, May 18, to make the preparations for our clients. Only for those who prefer the physical presentation because we have that online event. It's mainly an online event. So some kasi still prefer. It's a different experience kasi, diba?
Yeah, it's really different. The personal touch.
Yeah, you're investing a lot of money. You want to know, you want to feel what you're paying for. You want to see what you're paying for. So that's why we're also giving our support to those who want that kind of service.
Well, at least it will be safe naman because you've taken the necessary precautions to ensure na the buyers will really be safe even though they will be going there physically to meet with the team.
Yes, actually, Alveo will be requiring a rapid test. So that one doesn't have to be the swab test, basta rapid test lang to anyone who would prefer or who would choose the physical attendance to the event to make sure that everyone is safe.
Okay. So you can't go there without a rapid test result.
Yes, if ever naman you would still want to attend, you can do so via Zoom if you don't want to get the rapid test kasi it's also for their safety.
Okay. So I think I've already asked all my questions. Do you have anything that you want to say, anything that you want to add to entice the viewers to really attend your event and know more about the project?
Actually, I think we've talked about most of it. I'm very grateful to have had this opportunity to share our project with you, Miss Alex, and to your viewers. So, for those who would like to see more, know more, Miss Alex is there as your broker. She has everything, all access to the information I've shared. She's actually very familiar also with the project and can give you more information if you want. And I think you're also open to bringing them if they want to the event or to the online Zoom option. So just let her know, and then we will do our best to answer your questions, including site tours pala. We will also be opening our support for those who want to visit the site. We have the option, they can bring their drones, they can take videos of the actual site. Wala lang kasing existing roads going to the subdivision pa. So there's only a limit where they can walk, but they can see it for themselves.
So for those who want to check the site, like, do we need to ask for your permission? Do we need a permit or something? Or we can just go immediately to the site?
You can just schedule it with us. Let me know via Viber or just text me or call me. I'll secure a schedule for you, and then just let the guards know your name and that you have a confirmed schedule. That's pretty much it. Very easy. So I hope we do get to encourage a lot of clients and interested investors for Bayview Heights.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for your time, Miss Alvea. Yung name mo, similar sa, sa developer.
Yes. Yes, very, very similar. Very easy to remember, Alveo.
Yeah, it actually sounds like a screen name. Parang artista ba? Alvea Sikat.
That's what people think at first, na they don't call me by my name kasi they think it's a typo, or like they call me Miss lang kasi akala nila mali yung text ko and all of that. But that's my real name. And if you need anything, just ask Alvea from Alveo.
Oo nga. Yung isang partner ko nga sa realty, she thought that screen name yung name mo. Parang, that's her real name? I thought screen name siya.
Get that a lot. Some brokers nga think na I changed my name, or parang Siri daw ba.
It's very unique. It's very unique.
Yeah, nagkataon. I'm really meant for this company.
Yeah, oo nga. Yung name pa lang, it says it all. Anyway, thank you so much for your time, Miss Alvea. So, ayan mga viewers, if you're interested in this project, then just let me know. I actually have all the details, and Miss Alvea was able to answer also cover a lot of ground in this interview about the project, why it's at this price point, why they chose this location, and what advantages you have if you invest in an Alveo development. So again, thank you so much, and we will catch you on the next episode only here on the Homeshow Unlimited. It's on Mindanao Daily News Facebook page. You can watch it there every Tuesday, 11 to 12 noon. See you in the next episode. Bye!
Bye!
Thank you!
Thank you.